Once upon a time, in a small, isolated village, there was a dense, dark forest known as the Whispering Woods. The villagers spoke of strange sounds that echoed from within, whispers that carried on the wind, luring the curious and the brave. No one knew where these whispers came from, but everyone knew the rule: never ever enter the Whispering Woods. But children are often drawn to the mysterious, and it wasn't long before a group of friends decided to test the legends. Maya, Liam and Sophie were inseparable and fearless, or so they thought. One crisp autumn afternoon, when the sun hung low in the sky and cast long shadows, they made their way to the edge of the forest. The moment they stepped inside, the air grew thick with an eerie stillness. The towering trees seemed to lean in, their branches creaking as if whispering secrets to one another. Despite their growing unease, the children pressed on, each step taking them deeper into the heart of the forest. As they walked, the whispers became clearer. "Come closer," the voices cooed. "We have been waiting." But the more they listened, the more the voices seemed to burrow into their minds, confusing their thoughts and twisting their memories. The forest was no longer just a forest. It was alive, and it was watching them. Hours passed, and the children realized they were lost. The path they had followed had disappeared, replaced by thick underbrush and twisted roots. Fear gripped them, but they knew they couldn't turn back. They had to keep moving to find a way out. But the deeper they went, the stranger things became. Sophie was the first to notice the change. Maya's eyes, once bright and curious, had become distant and hollow, her movements jerky and unnatural. Liam's normally warm smile was replaced by a cold, blank stare, his voice flat and emotionless. But the most frightening change was in their behavior. They started whispering to each other in a language Sophie didn't understand, their voices eerily similar to the ones that haunted the woods. Terrified, Sophie tried to run, but her feet felt heavy, as if the forest itself was holding her back. She stumbled through the trees, branches clawing at her clothes, the whispers growing louder and more urgent. Just as she thought she couldn't go any further, she broke through the edge of the forest and tumbled onto the soft grass outside. Sophie was the only one who made it back to the village that day, but she wasn't the same. Her eyes, once full of life, now seemed empty, and she spoke only in whispers. She refused to talk about what had happened in the forest, and the villagers soon noticed that Sophie, like the others before her, had become a stranger in her own skin. Days turned into weeks, and Sophie's condition worsened. At night she would disappear, only to be found at the edge of the Whispering Woods, staring into the darkness as if waiting for something or someone to return. The villagers knew there was nothing they could do to save her, for the forest had taken its hold on her soul, just as it had done with Maya and Liam. From that day on, the villagers reinforced their warnings to the children. Never enter the Whispering Woods, for those who do may never truly return. But the whispers never ceased, and every so often another child would go missing, drawn into the forest by the voices that promised secrets and adventure, only to emerge changed or not at all. The forest had a hunger, and it would never be satisfied.